The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.thebenjamindixonshow.com to register for our blog and join the Progressive Army. And now, ladies and gentlemen,
you're now about to witness the truth.
It's the Benjamin Dixon Show.
Oh, we're live. Hey, we live. Welcome. We're a little rusty here, but welcome to the first live show of the Benjamin Dixon Show in I don't know, fam. It's been forever. I've got Anoa Changa with me. Anoa, how's it going?
It's been a long day, but snatching edges of Cassidy and Graham, it's all love. It's all
It
good.
was worth it. It was worth it, man. I'm super.
Late.
Yeah. I really feel bad because all those old people on that stage have way more energy than me, and I'm like, bro, I don't know how they're doing it.
They had a boost. They had some insure.
I'm thinking, do they work all day and then do this, or did they have like a break?
They had the hearing or almost hearing or whatever earlier. But here's the crazy thing that's interesting. Senator Graham said he's 62. That puts him only a year older than my parents. He looks damn old.
He looks like he's like 100 years old.
My stepdad just turned 69. He don't even look as old as
Dude, no, for real. He looks, I would say he was Bernie's age at a minimum. What's Bernie? 79, 100 too? I mean,
76. 75, 76. Yeah, he looks older. But yeah, if you guys got a chance to catch the debate, it wasn't a fair debate. Really, all Cassidy and Graham could do was their cheap shots, and I mean, at one point, I kept saying, it's like Bernie was on top of him, on top of Senator Graham, I'm gonna make you my son. Say it. Medicare is a good program. Say it.
I was seriously surprised that, and David, our producer, who's here, I guess we could show him on screen too if he so chose. But my argument was I was amazingly surprised that Cassidy and Graham came out there that unprepared. But in reality, David pointed out, there's not really much that they can say in defense of this ratchet program that they're trying to shove down the throats of America with a single hearing, like a partial hearing today. So they can't really defend it. So all they could do is what they did, which was try to scare everyone. Socialism this, socialism that. And I don't think they realized that really no one's afraid of socialism anymore. So they came up empty-handed.
Yeah, I mean, it really was like the rat baiting, the scare, the socialism scare stuff, and it's look, Americans have already enjoyed the same socialist program you're now trying to say is bad, and Medicare-for-all Medicare is not even really socialist. Neither is Medicare-for-all, but I mean, it's as socialist as you're going to get in America, and to make it seem like they kept trying to hamstring it, Bernie Sanders at one point and goes, there's a gift that someone has made that says, what's the most popular a medical plan in America?
Uh-huh. That was a beautiful. Oh my goodness!
Followed by care provided at the VA, even though in spite of all these issues and systems, problems it has. And then shout out to Jesse Smith, who also tweeted out that there's care that's provided to active duty military personnel and their families. That's also highly regarded. I mean, this whole conversation about Obamacare, who's the man or woman that runs the Obamacare, it's do you guys actually understand even what the ACA actually is, what it does? Because I'm really convinced now that Republicans really just hate Obama. They really just hate the fact that he was able to do something that they could not do, and they just want to undo it. Because this was a Republican plan at one point in time, right? And they couldn't get it off the ground. Obama took a Republican plan, spun it on his head, and made that shit pop. So now all of a sudden, it's awful, it's horrible. there's some man in the moon who controls all the, mechanisms and stuff, and they don't really have a valid answer for anything.
Right.
When Senator Graham is like, why are we talking about the pharmaceutical industry? Why are we talking about why prescriptions are ridiculously expensive? That's a part of medical care. That's a part of the ACA. Why don't you understand this, dude?
So they're running a problem here that it's a problem of their own creation, in the sense that Obama, like you said, Anoa, Obama went to the right and implemented this policy that is a conservative policy, right? Obamacare, whether they want to admit it or not, is a Republican policy. And they are now trying to do something different. And this is all that this is about. This is about undermining President Obama. Let's do something that President Obama didn't do. And so they're really stuck. Where the hell can they go? They can't possibly go any further to the right without, basically killing people. What do we estimated 43,000 people a year that's going to die, right? So they want to go further to the right so that they can be conservative, but this is about as conservative of a program that you can get and still not be a mass murderer in some respects. And they obviously are not going to go to the left. So in a way, President Obama did a brilliant move if you want to just look at this as political calculus or political chess and not really look at the implications of we could have done something better for the people. If you look at it just as a raw analysis of a political move, he outpositioned them. He took their policy and made it his own. And now they have spent the last 8 years, like, this is how you literally know they have nothing. They spent 8 years trying to do something, and now that the ball is in their court, they can't do anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And all they can do is just lie and misconstrue and defraud. I mean, this whole notion that, we let red states do it, red states want to do it, blue states do it, they want to do it. And that sounds catchy, right? Which is why they're saying it. But it's really one of the dumbest things of the night that has been said. Why would people who are, struggling, uninsured, particularly if you're in a red state, which you're more than likely to not have benefited from Medicaid expansion because your dumb governors, state level legislators did not approve Medicaid expansion, right? Louisiana, for example, only got Medicaid expansion once he got a Democratic governor, even though he's considered a quote-unquote conservative Democrat. That's a whole other conversation. So, this notion that we'll leave it up to states and the states can do whatever. The states have already proven when they've had the opportunity to do what's right for the American people, to help make sure there are more people insured, they've chosen to stomp their feet and oppose Obama. How many times? Okay, they have 15 governors supporting them. Ooh, there are 50 states. That means 35 governors don't
support you,
including governors in your own state, Senator Cassidy.
Right.
Like Senator Graham is talking all the time about South Carolina. South Carolina chose not to expand Medicaid to support people in its state. This is a huge issue and a problem. The other thing that they did, which is this whole red state, blue state, why should we have different systems of healthcare depending upon where you live?
That's insane.
That also doesn't make any sense. We should be trying to make sure that there is a standard, a basic available to everyone, no matter where they live, no matter what their income is. And that's just not what's happening based on this proposal.
What hang on, someone said it in our live blog, and I want to quote them because they said it probably.
Shout out to all the wonderful people who joined us in the live blog.
Yes. Absolutely. Shout out to them. And let's do, actually, I think we got a live caller here. It's been our first live caller in a very long time. Caller, let's test this out. Are you live? You're live on the air. What's your name, comment, and or question?
My name is Daryl Dixon. I agree with everything you say, No, wait. Hold on. The other day, my father came back into my life. He's sleeping on the couch right now. But the other day, I was making pizza rolls by the oven. And for some reason, he got up and he pulled my pants down. He started sucking my dick.
Okay. Well, hey, it was good. You were good at first when you said Daryl Dixon. But thanks for our first call.
That's your brother.
No, yeah, Daryl. You know Daryl Dixon from The Walking Dead.
Yes. I was like, wait a minute, what?
I'm like, okay, yeah. So, I mean, it's only fitting. We've been away so long that, of course, the first call we would get. But I do know your number, 985-520. Bleep.
We're talking about Afghanistan right word.
Yeah, I know. That's weird. Like on Twitter, it it held on to another title. So don't worry about that old title, Twitter. We're rusty as F with this live format. And it looks totally different than what it used to look like. That's fine. It's about the conversation at nighttime. If you want all the lights and bright, shiny stuff, come check me out during the day. But at night, I'm going to have my glass of cognac or my glass of wine. And we're going to just talk politics. Let's see if this is a serious caller. Caller, you're live on the air. What is your name, comment, and or question?
The name is Boris G. Donald.
Oh, Boris, cuz. This is a real call. Cousin, how's it going?
What's up, cuz?
How's it going, man?
So, listen, I just actually got through watching the debate. This debate, I DVR'd it.
Mm-hmm.
And, hold on, I gotta,
oh yeah, turn your volume down. Yeah, there's a little delay going on there. No problem.
Yeah, it's a delay. But anyway, so what I want to say is, I thought the debate was good. And I can appreciate hearing both sides of the issue.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the one thing that's going on here is that I don't think our senators are really focusing on what the real issue is, and that's the high cost of our health care.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think they're like, tiptoeing around, that issue. And, and I don't know if you guys have discussed this. I mean, I just tuned in. So I just wanted to kind of like raise that issue.
Yeah.
And, kind of get some feedback on it.
Hey, absolutely, man. Thanks for the call. Definitely appreciate it. That is my real life cousin, that I don't get to talk to often. But, seriously, I think there was some reference to it when they compare the cost of healthcare in, particularly prescription drugs, actually. So they talked about the cost of prescription drugs in Canada compared to the United States. But I don't recall them. I think he's right. I don't recall them speaking about the actual cost of healthcare, the actual cost of getting treatment as compared to other countries. Did I miss that?
Well, no, but here's part of the problem, right? Like it's a disingenuous conversation to try and act as if the American government, as it exists right now, can actually do something about the cost of insurance without acknowledging the problem that insurance companies are playing in the pay-for-profit system. Like the system itself is a problem. We have a profit-driven, system for healthcare, and until that is addressed, we're going to have issues with paying for care. I'm very thankful that there is so much that has been, even though the ACA has issues. Right, yeah. I've talked about this on my show before. The ACA has its issues. What's available in exchange? My younger sister, who had to go in exchange, the healthcare, she ended up letting hers lapse because the availability. She had a ganglion cyst on her wrist. The only doctor that would accept that insurance to treat that ganglion cyst was 2 hours away. Mm-hmm. None of us could take off work to travel 2 hours for an office visit, not for the cyst removal itself, but for the office visit. So that's the type of burden that I'm saying. My mother cannot afford to go get medical care and pay the premium monthly because what is available on exchange, because this is what people don't understand, right? The ACA exists. The states have their different exchanges. The insurance companies, though, can pull out of the exchanges. The insurance companies have too much damn points. The insurance companies, and I'm not in favor of some type of Gestapo thing or whatever, or, what did he say? I'm not trying to say that we need to take over, the insurance companies and take over the pharmaceutical industry, but we do need to acknowledge that there's a problem with the way in which that business is being done in terms of healthcare in America. And until that is really dealt with, and Bernie Sanders' suggestion to that is switching to a medicare-for-all system that would help normalize costs for people.
Absolutely.
You go to private practitioners for your care, but you'd have a standard unified system, and we don't have that.
Yeah. I think you obviously hit the nail on the head there, because they are going to the opposition. Let me start here. We have yet to see the opposition to a Medicare for all system, because it's going to address that exact thing. Not only address it, it's going to bring an end to it. Right. And so it's going to bring an end to insurance company making exorbitant profits in the sense that now we have a single payer system for all intents and purposes. And so addressing that will actually bring down the cost. But if we don't do exactly what you said, Anoa, which is talk about this is structured to be expensive because they have to deliver a certain level of profits to the companies that run them. So unless we're going to address the profit motive underneath it, and I think that's the same thing that we can apply to what my cousin is talking about, the last caller was talking about, if we don't address the underlying forces that drive up the cost of everything in the United States, right? But we're not talking about everything. We're talking about healthcare. If we don't talk about the underlying forces, which is a profit-driven motive, we cannot continue to put a profit-driven motive behind the healthcare of people and then act surprised when all of the costs are so exorbitant that most people can't afford. They have to make the decision, the cliche decision, but it's very true. And actually, let me take that word back, cliche. It's not cliche because it's so true. I actually had and I'm sure this story is repeating itself across the country every single day. But there was an elderly lady that I admired, almost like a role model because of just how she carried herself. She was like a distinguished lady that I looked at, and I'm like, you know what? If I want to be like her when I grow up. And she literally had to make the choice between living and dying. Living meant that she had to pay $1,500 for a pill. That pill kept her alive. And then she finally got to the point where she was like, I just can't do this anymore. And then she got to the point where she just didn't want to do it anymore. She stopped taking that pill. And I promise you, 2 weeks later, she died. So you're literally in this position where people are making decisions, life or death decisions, based on what they can afford or what they're going to continue affording, just to stay alive. So unless we address that, we're going to forever be playing games. And that's the one thing that the ACA in many ways never really addressed. And that's what Senator Graham and Cassidy, they're trying to skirt around it. I don't even know why they put this bill out, but we'll talk about that in a second. Let's take this next caller.
Put it out because the Koch brothers are dangling the purse string, and
for somebody to do. Yep.
Fight. They have to fight for it. It's like, you better fight. You better dance for your life if you want this money.
Somebody, yeah. Yeah, because that's the only, honestly, you know what? That's the only thing that makes sense, because why would they come out here and make fools of themselves?
The Koch brothers have thrown down the gauntlet, and you will repeal. You better get them votes.
Yeah.
Guess not everybody else is feeling the heat.
Absolutely. Caller from Miami, or at least 305 area code. What's your name, comment, and or question?
Yes. My name is Edgar Lewis. I'm actually living in Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale. What's going on, Fort Lauderdale?
Yes. When I look at more than anything else that they're doing, it's more about as far as why we can't take care of our own. Mm-hmm. As far as with insurance and things, insurance is basically like this in case something happens. Now, when things happen, who's there to do anything about it? If we can't take care of our own, how can we expect our elderly? We're pretty soon we're going to be elderly, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
But then at that point, who can we lean on? I look at everything as far as even Bernie Sanders, when you have other people speaking as well, they don't want to attack the real issue. The real issue is this. It's not about cures, the money's in the medicine. So why don't they just help us in some form of time? We should have to go to other countries or go to Canada and things of that nature, looking for health care as far as, it just doesn't make sense. It's plenty of money right here in America.
Yeah.
We spend money every day on frivolous things we don't even need.
Yeah.
As far as necessities, there's nothing there to help us.
Yeah, well, I think that's a great question, man. Thanks so much for the call. We want to grab a couple other callers. I think the comment, as you started fleshing it out, I think it makes sense in the sense of, well, here's the answer. In America, we don't take care of our own. In America, we take care of profits. That's the bottom line.
Well, you talking as socialism, yeah. See, that's what you're talking about taking care of the masses and feeding the. Now I'm with you though. I'm with you. We do really need to have. It's better for the country as a whole, right?
Absolutely.
You have a population that is healthy, that is educated, that is feeling good, right?
Yeah.
They're more productive, they're more engaging. But certain powers do not want us to be as alert, engaged, healthy, and participating fully in the system, because they wouldn't be able to run around and ram through BS legislation like this.
Yeah. This caller 541, hold tight. We want to get you in on the conversation. Before we do move on, I do want to take a minute. We started to thank everyone who participated in the live blog of the healthcare debate. I don't know that I can call everyone's name unless you have all the names, David. Okay, David, if you would just call out everyone's name that participated and thank them. Actually, while you pull that name up, it was Kirk Hackbarth who actually made an observation earlier that I wanted to point out that I think is really salient for our conversation. I just have to stall long enough to get to that screen and bring it up. So, David, if you got the names ready, go ahead and read the names of everyone who participated, and a special thanks from the Progressive Army for everyone who did.
Yeah, we had a really full house, a full team of contributors teaming up with the actual PA team. So thank you to Mike Figueredo of Humanist Report, Katie Halper of the Katie Halper Show, Rhonda Walker, Tamborine Borelli, Georgia Davenport, Brianna Fisher, Adriel Hampton. Who else did we have? We had Natalie. I always forget Natalie's last name of Lee. What is it, Anoa? There we go. And I think that just about covered it. We had about just about 10 contributors. A few
and a bunch of members from Progressive Army. I just want to say it was hanging out with everybody. My first official PA event back. Yay!
Yeah, and this actually, what we're talking about, we can't move that fast. Welcome back, Anoa Changa. Everybody give a round of applause to Anoa Changa. Back on the squad as the Anoa. What is your? I know you're the political director, but there's something else to your title. What's the other part of your title again?
Director of Political Advocacy, and then I'm a co-managing editor alongside David's mom.
Okay, we're getting a little feedback there. I'm not sure if that's on David's end or where, but you are a co-managing editor and director of political advocacy. I talked about you on air about 2 weeks ago or a week ago. Whenever we made it official, I talked about you on air. But this is your first time being back on air with us in a while. Anoa went off on a vision quest, and she went out and did her things, and she slayed dragons, and she did all these things. And, we just missed her too much to let her stay out there. And so we I don't know. It's funny. We got brought back together because of I don't even know how you want to describe her, but sometimes craziness. I don't want to give her as much credit as saying
we needed to form Voltron, and we couldn't form Voltron without a conversation happening. So a conversation happened. We was able to be in Voltron was fun. We decided to just be Voltron all the time again.
Yeah, that's what it was. We'll leave it there because anything else would give what's her name too much credit. I don't really want to give her credit, but so anyway, caller, you're live on the air. 541. What's your name? And actually, caller, before you go live, David, there's a lot of feedback, and I'm not sure where it's coming from, but let's try to get this caller in. Okay, caller, you're live on the air. What's your name, comment, and or question?
Hey, Ben, it's Nick from Oregon.
Hey, Nick, long time. Thanks for calling in. What's on your mind?
Long time. I'm glad to have you back live.
Yeah, me too. I really missed it.
So I was just curious. A while ago when we were talking about the healthcare debate generally and Republicans trying to force whatever they could through, I think you alluded to the fact that, the Koch brothers had essentially threatened to pull funding for any Republican people that did not sponsor it, or if they just did not pass it, period.
Right. Noah just mentioned that. Yeah.
So I was wondering if you think, I had posited this as a question earlier, do you think that they're going to follow through with that threat, whether if they fail to do this one now, or if it's just, if they don't keep bringing it up, if they don't keep trying to repeal Obamacare, do you think they'll really pull funding? Because other people say that it's more of just a threat, but not really a credible threat.
That's a good question, Nick. We're going to answer that one off the air. I'm not sure if so. I mean, they're still funding Republicans after the 2012 loss, that spectacular loss. They dropped $1 billion there, or almost $1 billion total between all the fundraising, and they still continue to fund Republicans. I'm not sure that they're going to actually pull their funds because it seems like there's a well that never runs dry when it comes to finding big donors to try to fund a Republican agenda. They may shift some players, right? Graham and Cassidy, if they fail, they might not be the darlings of the party anymore or something like that. But I don't think you're ever going to get to the point where the Koch brothers are not going to be funding all of the efforts of the Republican Party. What do you think, Anoa?
I agree to the extent that there are going to be. I think the Koch brothers are in it for world domination, right? I don't really think. I think that there are some things. I think I was talking with Adriel Hampton about this last week when he was on the way. He was talking about how the Koch brothers actually are like ideologically libertarian. Mm-hmm. And so there are certain issues where they actually align more with liberals and the left. And you look at to superficially anyway, right? Like when you look at criminal justice reform, there are some areas where they're more left than most Republicans, and then there are some areas where they're even more conservative than some Republicans, right? And I do think that I don't think they're going to completely cut the purse strings entirely, but I definitely think that they might like pull back some. I do think that there's going to be a repercussion for not following through, because it does seem like an edict has been set down from them that this is what needs to happen. We already see how well people are sticking to the Voter Fraud Commission, for example, which is something that if you guys have followed the work of not Kobach. Oh my God, I'm getting on people. People mix up. If you follow this up about cross-check the Voter Fraud Commission, the Koch brothers are involved with some of the funding behind that stuff, and those people will stick to that bottom line, because that's a deep pockets right there. So I do think though that failure to actually get it right will result in some restriction of funding to some extent. There might be some hands slapped after this, but yeah, this is tonight's debate just shows, like you said, how unprepared they really were to do this.
But how do you defend it also, right? How do you defend this bill that is going to put, I believe, 23 or up to 36 million Americans off of insurance by 2026? It's going to increase.
No, Ben. That's not really what they're doing, though. What they're doing is shifting it, see? Because the states can choose to spend the money to insure.
I'm glad you said that.
And they see fit.
Yep. I'm glad you said that.
What happened with Medicaid expansion? The states chose to expand Medicaid to. Oh wait, they didn't do that, did they?
Exactly. And this is what maybe I'm glad you said that, because it brings me back to what Kirk Hackbarth said. He said Cassidy and Graham should be set up on an altar to the state. Should set up an altar to the states and start burning incense to it. And this goes back to states' rights has always been used as an excuse to oppress people. I'm sorry. It has always been used as an excuse through American history for people in power, wealthy people with political power, to keep the people and the subjects of their state oppressed. And this is just the latest iteration of this. So anytime someone is yelling states' rights, they're really screaming about the state's right to be able to do to you whatever the hell that particular governor and that particular House and state Senate wants to do to you. And if they choose, like 19 states did, to not expand Medicaid, well, then that's just too bad for your state.
Absolutely. And it's really problematic, this whole conversation about we need to leave it to the states, States are struggling and overburdened and can't keep their existing systems together as is, right? We already have several states that do things like create furloughs for state workers because they have budgeting and balancing issues. I don't understand how we're going to, and some people might say, well, the federal government, look, I don't know how we're going to put it in the hands of some of these states that can't even pull it together. The state of Illinois, for example, right? The state of Illinois under Governor Browner has not been able to pass a damn budget. I do not understand how we're going to trust Governor Browner. Hopefully he's still not governor, with funding in this manner when he can't even ensure funding for basic needs in the state, such as education. We already saw the serious struggle and loss to universities and institutions of higher learning and to public education because of the impacts of the budget crisis that's already existing in Illinois. That's just one state, one example. I mean, when you look at a lot of the southern states and stuff and the way in which decisions are made money is allocated. It is not being equitable across the state to all the people. This whole state, right? It just sounds good. It goes back to that red state, blue state, red pill, blue pill BS.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talking about. It's like, who the hell drafted these points for you? The Koch brothers must be asleep at the damn wheel, because I really don't understand the policy for them. Like, I will throw you a bone. Break me on something. I will throw you a bone. I will get you guys some better talking points, because this stuff was trash. It was so bad. And all they got is, well, I like federalism. I don't like socialism.
Yeah, come on.
Stupido. Federalism and socialism are not mutually exclusive. That's the first thing. Most people don't even know what the hell you're talking about when you say federalism. And quite honestly, people don't know what you're talking about when you talk about socialism.
Right.
So, like,
but
dumb.
But they're getting closer to understanding what we say when we say socialism, right? When we say socialism is, well, I mean, let's just go down a quick line. You like your fire department, that's socialized. You like your police department, that's socialized. You like free public school, that's socialized. You like the military, okay, well, that's socialized, even if you do like it. You know, do you like the post office? That's socialized. You know what else is socialized? The fact that, hang on, let me get this. I got to figure out how to get that off this computer. What else is socialized is the fact that we will give welfare to corporations. We will give welfare to the top 1%. We're going to give subsidies to the wealthiest people and the wealthiest corporations in America. We are all about socialism in America, socialism for the rich, and pull yourself up by your bootstraps for the poor. Let's take this caller. And once people start realizing that, then they're no longer afraid of this idea of socialism. And we're seeing 75 years worth of Red Scare go away in a matter of 8 years, because they started off by calling President Obama a socialist, and then after a while that just didn't stick anymore. And so here we are now. Let's take this caller. Caller, you're live on the air. What is your name, comment, and or question?
Yo, my brother, what's going on?
Bryce, what's going on, man?
What's going on? I don't know if Anoa is there, but how you doing?
Anoa's here. Anoa, that's Bryce. He's saying, what's happening?
Hi, Bryce.
Go ahead, Bryce. What's your comment, man?
Well, I want to give an update. I'm supposedly moving to Atlanta within the next year or so.
Word.
My cousins, I have a couple of family that's down there, so hopefully we all can get together.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Definitely. But actually, there's so much going on. I wanted to say, I love your speeches that you've given during on speaker that you've been posting on YouTube, especially the last one about, black nationalism.
Mm-hmm.
So you just hit every point. Like, I was so pissed I couldn't call. I was like, because he's hitting every point, because I'm black and I know what's going on in our world and our country and everything, but there are times we just go super overboard and we just lose focus of what's really going on. Not even that, but just off the basis where, we become the people that we're trying to fight. There's just so many examples about that.
That's a good point.
But what is your opinion about the protests this past weekend? Trump going to war with the NBA and the NFL.
Bryce, thanks for the call. That's a great question. I think I'm going to have to disappoint you, only because that's a huge question. And I think we honestly would have to talk about that for at least 30 minutes. And fellas and ladies and gentlemen and non-gender conforming people, I've been at it since about 6 o'clock this morning. I don't know about you all, but Bryce, I promise you I will address that tomorrow, if you don't mind giving me a few hours to get some sleep.
I will just say shout out to St. Louis. Everybody in St. Louis has been holding it down for about 11 days or so now.
Yeah.
Like, St. Louis has been going strong with, and you don't hear about it because there isn't any massive protest or violence, but there's excessive force on behalf of the St. Louis County and St. Louis Metropolitan Police. The mayor absolutely needs to be recalled. I mean, it's a travesty. ACLU is suing both police departments. It's just nonstop, excessive force, aggressive behavior. They have maced, attacked, arrested legal observers, citizen journalists, paid actual mainstream journalists. I mean, it's crazy what's happening in St. Louis, but St. Louis, every day people are getting up and they're protesting. There's been an action a day at least. So shout out to everybody in St. Louis holding down. As for the protests this weekend, they pale in comparison to what ordinary people are doing every single day to push the agenda and move the needle on issues that matter in our communities. That's my canned statement. Boom.
Absolutely. Boom. I don't have my applause track handy right now, but I will have my applause track handy by tomorrow. I absolutely appreciate you pointing that out, Anoa, because you're right. The people who are on the ground doing the actual work, no glitz, no glamour, no real attention. Only attention that most of this is being given is on social media. I know outlets like yours. And so a lot of love and a lot of shout out and support and thoughts to the people in St. Louis who are out there protesting and demonstrating right now while the entire nation is focused on superstars. And I'm grateful. Don't get me wrong. I'm grateful for what the NFL players are doing. Totally cool. It's bringing a national spotlight, but Anoa's right here, as usual, that the people on the ground, we definitely have to show some love and respect to them. Okay, caller, we're going to take this last caller because it's the first night back. Why not? Caller, you're live on the air. Better not be this Daryl Dixon guy. What's your name, comment, and or a quick question?
I just wanted to know, when you go to the plantation, what will happen to your punching bag?
Mm-hmm. I mean, so here's the thing about trolling.
We'll bring you with us.
Here's the thing. One, you have a great voice. You have a great voice, so it's a shame that you're wasted for stupidity. But if you're going to troll, like, I mean, you got to at least do something cogent, something that either like elicits a visceral response out of us or something that makes people laugh. Because I don't know. I don't even know what that. I don't even know. That was kind of boring, man. Up your game, man. Up your game.
You need a soundbite that just says fail.
Exactly, because that was like, if you're gonna wait on hold to troll us, then for the love of God, have something good. At least Daryl Dixon at the beginning was creative, right? He caught my attention. He said Daryl Dixon, and I'm like, okay, all right, this is a troll. But he said, no. He was insistent. No, listen. You know, at least he was persistent. That last guy was just a waste of time. All right, folks. Thanks so much for your time. Anoa, thanks for hanging out with me. David, thanks so much for setting up. A special shout out to Mike Ramsey, who did these amazing graphics. I'm getting ready to tweet them out and tell him a special thank you on Twitter. Amazing graphics.
Shout out to IPM. Everybody go check out IPM on Twitter. Mike Ramsey, Brittany, Louise, Andre. It's a whole deep squad, but IPM, the Institute of Progressive Mimetics, like it's all the very cool, catchy the Barretts you guys saw, that was IPM. Like IPM's been holding it down lately, so y'all gotta go check them out. Be nice.
Good night. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. David, it's on you.
The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.thebenjamindixonshow.com to register for our blog, join the Progressive Army, and support The Benjamin Dixon Show. It's Ben Dixon! If you like this episode, be sure to share, like, and subscribe.
Consider becoming a Patreon. Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show and support The Benjamin Dixon Show.